A photo dump dropped. And it did not come from Tia. It came from him. Let that sit for a second. A man posted about her. First. On his own page. With captions. With feeling. And the internet has officially lost its collective mind trying to figure out what exactly they just witnessed. Because here is what makes this whole thing feel less like a birthday post and more like a slow-motion reveal. Javon'e did not just wish her a happy birthday and move on. He built an entire carousel. Photos. Videos. A sequence, almost like he wanted people to feel the day unfold in order, the way it actually happened, rather than just seeing a highlight reel thrown together at the last minute. The first thing people noticed was the courtside clip. The two of them sitting together at a basketball game, grinning straight into the camera like nobody else in the arena existed. No forced smile. No stiff celebrity pose. Just two people who looked like they forgot cameras were even a thing for a second. And that clip alone had people rewinding it, watching it twice, 3 times, trying to catch whatever it was that made it feel so different from every other cute couple at a game post that gets recycled online every week. Then came the beach footage. Black and white. No color, no filter tricks, just Tia sitting in the sand with a birthday cake glowing in front of her, blowing kisses toward whoever was holding the camera. And people picked up on the obvious detail immediately. Those kisses were not for the crowd. They were not performed for followers. They were aimed directly at him, the person filming, the person she trusted enough to hand her phone to and just be herself in front of. Somewhere in the middle of the carousel, birthday cupcakes showed up. Simple. Not extravagant. Not some 5-tier cake ordered from a celebrity bakery with her name spelled out in gold leaf. Just cupcakes, the kind you would actually eat with your hands, sitting there looking almost intentionally low-key compared to what people expect from a birthday this public. Then a bouquet. Pink flowers, cradled in her arms in one of the photos, and immediately people zoomed in trying to figure out if there was a hidden message in the flower choice, because apparently nothing in this relationship gets to just be a bouquet anymore. Everything gets analyzed. Everything gets a theory attached to it. And then the final image in the sequence. A nighttime shot. The two of them taking in a view together, no faces turned toward the camera this time, just their backs, just the skyline or the water or whatever was out there in front of them, captured in a way that felt less like content and more like something private that accidentally got shared with millions of strangers. That is the part that seemed to break people. Not the party. Not the cake. That last quiet photo, the one where nobody was performing for anyone, the one that looked like it was never supposed to be public in the first place. The comment section under his post turned into its own event. Fans flooded in almost instantly, and the tone from most of them was pure delight. People said they had not seen her look this at ease in years. People said the chemistry jumped off the screen without either of them trying to prove anything. There was a wave of comments from women specifically saying this is exactly the kind of energy they want for themselves, someone who documents the relationship not to show off, but because he genuinely seems proud to be standing next to her. But then, because this is the internet and nothing stays sweet for long, the other side showed up too. Some people could not resist bringing up comparisons. One comment picked apart his career, questioning what he actually does for a living, framing him as someone without much going on beyond painting, and contrasting that against the version of stability people associated with who Tia used to be with. It was a jab dressed up as concern, the kind of comment designed to plant doubt without directly attacking anyone by name. Other commenters clapped back almost immediately, calling out the double standard, pointing out that the second Tia tagged him, people rushed straight to his page to size him up, judge his job, judge his looks, judge his worth, all within minutes of a birthday post that had nothing to do with any of that. One comment in particular went semi-viral just for calling out the hypocrisy directly, admitting that yes, everyone rushed to check him out, but framing it as curiosity rather than judgment, and then throwing in that he is, in their words, a cutie, which somehow became its own mini-debate in the replies. That is the pattern with this couple right now. Every post turns into 2 separate conversations happening at once. One group is purely here for the romance, gushing over how comfortable the two of them look, how natural the affection seems, how refreshing it is to see someone celebrated instead of quietly forgotten on a birthday. The other group treats every single photo like evidence in a case they are still trying to build, picking apart body language, picking apart who looks more invested, picking apart whether this is genuine or some kind of performance for an audience that was never supposed to be part of the relationship in the first place. Tia's own birthday post added another layer to the story. It went up the day after his, almost like a response, though nobody knows if that was intentional or just the natural rhythm of two people documenting the same event separately. Her post leaned into the gathering itself, an intimate setup with close friends, Javon'e woven into several of the shots, not as the center of attention but as part of the group, part of the celebration, present without dominating the frame. In her caption, she described the day using words like incredibly loved and deeply grateful, language that on its own would be completely unremarkable for a birthday post, except for the fact that people are now reading everything she says through the lens of this relationship, searching for confirmation, searching for hints about where things are headed next. Her outfit choice in the solo shots became its own topic. A sheer white bodysuit paired with light blue denim shorts, casual on paper but styled in a way that clearly was not thrown together last minute. People debated whether the look was a message, a woman fully owning her body and her confidence on her own terms, or simply an outfit picked because it looked good in photos. Both readings existed at the same time in the comments, sitting right next to each other, nobody agreeing, everybody convinced they were right. Her followers, and there are millions of them, showed up in force. Messages stacked up fast, most of them warm, wishing her a year of abundance, telling her she deserved every bit of the joy on display. A handful of comments zeroed in specifically on how the celebration looked, calling it the perfect way to spend a birthday, pointing to the mix of friends, flowers, cake, and quiet affection as proof that this new chapter was landing exactly the way it was supposed to. Then there's the gift, and this is where the story really splits the room. Instead of jewelry or anything flashy, Javon'e gave her something he made himself. A painting, reportedly created during his own work hours, dedicated to her. And the reaction to that single object turned into a full debate that spread far beyond the original post. One side loved it instantly. People said they were tired of the same predictable celebrity gifts showing up year after year, tired of watches and bags and cars being treated as the only acceptable way to show someone they matter. A handmade painting, something built with actual time and effort, read to them as more personal, more thoughtful, something money genuinely cannot buy no matter how much of it you have. The other side was not convinced. Comments started questioning his finances outright, wondering aloud whether the painting was a gesture of creativity or simply the only option available to him. Some got more pointed, bringing up the age difference between the two of them, framing it as a factor that somehow explains everything about the relationship without actually explaining anything at all. A few comments went further, suggesting there is a quiet imbalance sitting underneath all of this, one person with fame and resources, the other without either, and predicting that imbalance would eventually cause friction neither of them can avoid. Even the way Tia reacted to the painting got picked apart. Video clips of her admiring it circulated with her tone getting mocked in some corners, people comparing her enthusiastic reaction to the way a parent gushes over a child's crayon drawing rather than how an adult responds to a gift from a partner. Other viewers pushed back hard on that take, calling it an unfair reading of a woman simply expressing genuine excitement about something meaningful someone made specifically for her. What nobody can agree on is what any of this actually means. Some are convinced this is one of the most authentic celebrity relationships currently playing out in public, a rare case where the affection looks completely unforced. Others remain certain there is a performance happening here, a slow rollout designed to keep an audience engaged, each post calculated to generate exactly this kind of split reaction and keep both sides talking. And through every theory, every comparison, every dissected photo and debated caption, the two of them keep posting anyway. No pause. No retreat into privacy. No attempt to quiet the noise by simply stepping back from social media the way so many public figures eventually do when scrutiny gets this intense. If anything, the volume of content only picked up around this birthday. More clips. More candid shots. More of that quiet, unbothered energy that either reads as confidence or recklessness depending entirely on who is scrolling through it. Right now, nobody outside the relationship actually knows what is true. Not whether the painting means what people think it means. Not whether the age gap matters the way commenters insist it does. Not whether this is the real thing or a very convincing version of it playing out one carousel post at a time. What is certain is this. A birthday that should have come and gone quietly instead turned into one of the most talked about celebrity relationship moments of the summer, built entirely out of cupcakes, a bouquet, a courtside smile, a black and white beach clip, and one handmade painting that somehow managed to divide an entire comment section in half. And the internet, whether it admits it or not, is not going anywhere. Every notification from either of their pages gets opened within seconds. Every new photo gets dissected within minutes. Every caption gets read twice, searching for something hidden between the lines. Nobody can look away. And judging by how this birthday just played out, nobody is even trying to. There is another detail people keep circling back to, one that seems small at first but somehow refuses to leave the conversation. The order of the posts. Javon'e went first. Not Tia. And in a relationship this public, where every move gets timestamped and cross-referenced by strangers with nothing better to do, that detail alone became a theory of its own. Some viewers read it as pure romance, a man too excited to wait, someone who wanted the world to see his girlfriend celebrated before she even had the chance to celebrate herself. Others were far more suspicious, suggesting the timing was deliberate, a calculated move to control the narrative, to be the first face associated with her birthday before anyone else could claim that spot. A few even pointed out that in past relationships, this kind of public sequencing rarely happened this way, and wondered out loud whether that shift says something about him specifically, or about what Tia is finally allowing into her life now that she was not allowing before. Then there is the matter of what got left out. Sharp-eyed followers noticed there were no shots of extended family in either post. No parents in the frame, no siblings tagged, nothing beyond the tight circle of friends and the two of them. For a woman whose family history has played out publicly for years, that absence stood out. Comment threads filled up with speculation about whether that was simply a choice to keep this particular day intimate, or whether it hinted at something bigger going on behind the scenes that has not been shared yet. The location of the party became its own rabbit hole too. Nobody confirmed exactly where the beach footage was filmed, and that silence did not stop people from guessing. Some insisted they recognized the shoreline from an earlier post. Others were convinced it was somewhere entirely new, a location never shown before, which only added to the sense that this relationship keeps producing fresh material faster than anyone can keep up with it. Screenshots of both carousels started circulating well beyond the original platforms, landing in group chats, entertainment forums, and reaction pages within hours. Threads popped up dedicated entirely to picking apart single frames, slowing down the courtside video frame by frame, arguing over whether a particular glance lasted a beat too long to be casual. One recurring argument kept surfacing across nearly every thread. Whether this level of documentation is healthy or whether it crosses into something closer to performance. Supporters pushed back hard against that framing, arguing that people are allowed to be happy loudly, that not every joyful relationship needs to be hidden away just to prove it is real. Skeptics held their ground too, insisting that anything shared this consistently, this quickly, this publicly, eventually starts serving the audience more than the relationship itself. Meanwhile, more casual observers just kept commenting on the small, human details. The way she held the flowers a little too tightly in one photo, like she genuinely did not want to put them down. The cake itself sparked its own tiny debate, people arguing about the flavor based on the frosting color alone, a discussion that had nothing to do with anything important and somehow still ran for dozens of replies. Even the timing of the follow-up post got picked apart. A full day passed between his carousel and hers, and that gap became its own point of discussion. Was she letting his post breathe before adding her own version of events? Was there a private conversation happening off camera about how much to share and when? Nobody knows, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps pulling people back in, refreshing the pages, waiting to see whether either of them will finally address any of the theories directly. So far, neither has. No statement addressing the finance. Comments. No response to the age gap chatter. No acknowledgement of the theories about calculated timing or missing family members. Just more photos. More